Kia ora, e te whānau ngā mihi nui ki a koutou. We are done with week 7, only 2 weeks to go left of the term. We've got a big newsletter coming up, so you can check that out now. Dear parents, caregivers and whānau, e te whānau o te kura o tawa, tēnā koutou katoa. We're heading into the last 2 weeks of the term. Our tamariki have been enjoying our science unit focused on living things and taxonomy. Our teachers have worked collaboratively to plan a range of activities based on the draft science curriculum. The way the refreshed curriculum learning areas are designed involves phases covering a particular year range, then year-by-year learning objectives. Phase 1 covers years 1 to 3, Phase 2 covers years 4 to 6, and Phase 3 covers years 7 and 8. For 2026, we'll be taking a very measured approach to implementing the refreshed curriculum by teaching one set of year-level objectives for each phase in a particular learning area. By doing so, we will get to know each curriculum and start to build student knowledge. Apart from English and Maths, these other curricula are still in draft form. We have noticed a growing number of students who are being picked up late at the end of the day. We know that parking can be an issue, so arriving a bit later can mean you are more likely to find somewhere to park. We understand that things can come up occasionally, but frequent late pickups mean teachers need to stay behind to supervise students. Many of them have meetings and other work commitments after school, so this can make things challenging if they can't get away. We really appreciate your support in making sure your child is collected on time. If you're running late, please contact the school office so we can make arrangements. It has also been noticed that a number of children walk to Coronation Park and are unsupervised while waiting to be picked up, which can be quite a bit later in the afternoon. There are other parents and caregivers around, but they are looking after their own children. It is important that after-school supervision arrangements are made for the safety of our tamariki. A reminder that SCIDS is also available for after-school care. Last week, I had the opportunity to attend the NZPF New Zealand Principals Federation Moot, which is a national gathering of regional principal associations and local school cluster leaders. It was an opportunity to highlight the challenges we are facing in education and the direction school leaders believe education should be heading. There were 3 key themes that came out of the meeting that will form NZPF's election manifesto on education. 1. Cross-party agreements on education. For too long, education has been a political football. There is a call for a clear 10, 20, 30-year vision for education that sits apart from the local political cycle and is built on strong evidence. 2. Learning support. There needs to be equitable and adequate funding to support the growing needs of tamariki in our schools. There needs to be a concerted effort to have lots of experts in trauma, neurodiversity, physical disabilities, speech language teachers who can actively work with children rather than simply give advice. 3. Genuine consultation. The sector as a whole is often done to, rather than having real consultation about educational practice that truly shows what it is like at the coalface of our schools. At Tawa School, we're about building brains and creating great memories for our tamariki so that we can spark a passion for learning and future success. Despite the rapid change around education, we'll be keeping our community and our tamariki at the centre of any decisions around curriculum and assessment. This includes the new reporting guidelines that have come out this term. We will discuss that with our community early next term. We also have an upcoming ERO, Education Review Office review, in either terms 2 or 3, and we hope to showcase our pedagogical approach and how it is benefiting our tamariki. Independence at school. Some of the key skills that we try to instill in our tamariki is independence and resilience. I know that as a parent it can be hard to let go of your child once they start school, and it can also be difficult for your child to let you go as well. As teachers, we can support you and your child should this be a challenging space to navigate. Developing independence can start at home with getting your child to pack their own bag, dressing themselves, learning to put on their own shoes. It can also look like getting them to carry their own school bag into school, putting their own things away for the day, and saying goodbye at the gate or top court. Growing resilience is also important for our tamariki. Learning to cope when things don't go their way is vital to learn to navigate social situations. This can look like not rescuing them when they are struggling with something and observing to see how they work their way out of a situation. We encourage our tamariki to seek help at school if there are issues or challenges, rather than going home, where it can be more difficult to unpack later. I like to say that if you believe half the stories that come home from school will believe half the stories that come to school from home. If there is an issue we know about, we'll give you a heads up. We can link all of this to our work on the science of learning through the gradual release model. It starts with I do, where we model what we want in an instructional way. We then shift to we do, where we do that task at the same time as a guided instruction. That moves to we do it together, where parents and child can collaborate on a task. This finally leads to you do, where the child does it independently. As much as we love having parents, caregivers and whānau popping in at the start of the day, it may be time for you to allow your child to head into school by themselves. We are here to support them. Whānau and Friends. Our Whānau and Friends group is a team of parents that are about developing connections through community and fundraising events. Unfortunately, in 2025, due to the hall being out of use, they were unable to run the events that usually happen throughout the year, such as school discos. In 2026, these events will be able to happen, and they have started looking at what will be coming up this year. Keep an eye out on events as they are advertised, and we would love to have you involved. Whānau Hui. It was awesome to connect with some of our Māori whānau on Wednesday night at our hui. Whai Dana shared some of the mahi our kapahaka groups have been working on over the term. We played some te reo Māori language games that tamariki use in class, shared kai, and had a great time connecting and talking together. We also got some feedback about how our tamariki Māori and their whānau are feeling about school and what we can do better. We look forward to our next hui in week 5 of term 2. I've just finished reading a book called The Digital Delusion by Dr. Jared Cooney-Horvath. It is a commentary and critique of the use of digital technologies in education and the effects it is having on learning. I took 10 pages of notes from the book, and there were some insights that really struck me. The book talks about how digital technologies are a way of offloading knowledge. We no longer need to remember facts because all we need to do is remember where to find those facts. It challenges educators to ensure we are providing opportunities for children to build on knowledge by explicitly connecting new ideas to things they already know. It also talks about the fact that learning preferences may have evolved over time, but the fundamental way in which the brain learns, its cognitive architecture, hasn't. That is why we use the science of learning as part of our approach to explicitly, systematically, and sequentially teach our tamariki. Lots of food for thought, and definitely worth a read. And here's a great quote from Louis L'Amour. Knowledge is like money. To be of value, it must circulate, and in circulating, it can increase in quantity and hopefully in value. So, as you can see, there's lots happening in and around Tawa School and the wider education environment as well. Hey, have a great weekend, everybody. Look after yourselves, and we'll catch up with you on Monday, ready for the start of week 8. Ka kite anō.